What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to show you guys how to do a auxiliary port swap as well as a rear cover swap. Kind of get a two for today, two things in one. So what's going on with this is the owner wants to upgrade the battery to a high capacity battery. Well, in the thin iPod, it's too small. You need to put on this is a 7th gen iPod. You have to put on like a 6th gen 160 gigabyte rear casing for it to fit. See if I can, got the replacement right here. You can kind of see the difference in thickness. So the one wrapped in blue paper is about 1/4 of an inch thicker. That's just enough space for us to accommodate our larger battery. So what you guys are going to get out of this video is you're going to learn how to swap, or I guess really essentially replace an aux port cable. Because I need to open this up and then I have to take the aux port ribbon cable out of here and put it into here. So essentially it's just like replacing it. So let's get that done. Okay, so first, this is just going to be a step-by-step tutorial from start to finish. I'm not cutting anything out, I'm not fast forwarding anything. Okay, so we need to open up this iPod. What you're going to do is you're going to take your metal spudger, or any spudger, and you're going to insert it between the front casing of the iPod and the rear casing of the iPod. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of work it in there, and then you're going to kind of slightly pry outwards, releasing the clips. And you kind of just keep working it slowly back and forth like that, and just keep going around until you get all of them released. This is probably the worst iPod to do this on. They get super tight. You kind of just gotta keep working at it until it comes loose. There they go. You'll hear them start to release the clicking. Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, and if you've seen any of my other videos before, you know exactly what I'm going to say next. So what you're going to do is fight the urge to open this like a book. If I can find my dang spudger. There we go. Okay, so do not open it like a book. Well, there are cables, ribbon cables under here, and if you just open it, you can tear them. The one that's the most taut is the battery cable right here. And if you pull up to, if you apply too much pressure, you could actually rip this battery connector off the motherboard, in which case you better be very good at soldering, or you'll have to spend $100 or more to replace the motherboard. So what you want to do is take your spudger, hold down on the battery connector, tweezers, and then pull up on the battery cable. Now you're free. Now you can open it like a book. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to disconnect the aux port. And to do that, you just use your nail, really. You just pull up on this right there, and then you just pull that out like so. And we will set this off to the side for now because we do not need it. Okay, so now we need to transfer this aux port from this case to this case. And I know it says in the title, you know, something about, oh, how to replace your aux port cable. Well, really, it's the same process. Like, I'm not actually replacing. It's not new, but it is the exact same process. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, or not really the first thing anymore, we're a couple steps in. The next thing that we need to do is we need to remove this battery. So this is an aftermarket battery. Whether the person used the adhesive on the backside of this battery, I'm not sure. I'm gonna just stick the spudger under there and just kind of feel it out, and it does look like they did use the adhesive. Normally, I will not peel this out. There's not enough space in here for this thing to really bounce around. I've never had an issue with it. It just makes it easier if you ever need to get into the iPod again. to do maintenance or, you know, in this case, swap an aux port cable. It just makes it easier so you don't do any damage to the aux port cable, because what's going on here is the hold switch that runs off here goes here, up here, and it runs about here. So it gets stuck to the bottom of this battery. So if you just take this spudger in here and you jam it home and you rip it up, what's going to happen is you're going to rip this hold switch cable right here. So you want to very gently, and I special curved spudger here. It helps quite a bit actually. Very gently, just get under there and just start working it. You'll start to hear it like that, and I can already tell that it's, you probably can't hardly see that, but it's stuck to the bottom of the hold switch cable right there. So I need to relieve that pressure. I'm sorry, you guys probably can't even see this, but I'm just relieving the pressure so the battery can pull up freely, and then it leaves the hold switch cable right there. Now we can pull the battery out. Good to go. Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to remove the aux port cable. So there are 4 screws in this thing. There is one, sorry, I can't see, one there, one there, one there, and one there. We'll remove those real quick. I will fast forward this part, unlike the prying open the case part. It's just removing screws. I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, so all 4 screws are out. So this second one right here, there's a little bit of tape that goes across here, and that kind of covers the head of the screw, but I don't even try to remove it. I just stick my screwdriver in there and I get the screw out. And what happens is the screw gets kind of trapped in the tape here. So just be careful when you're removing it that you don't accidentally knock it out somewhere. I'm just going to leave it in there because it's fine. It's held in by tape, so it's good. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is take your spudger, stick it in this corner, and just slightly pry back. So now you're just kind of breaking it loose there. Okay, so then you want to take your nail again. Now you can get back behind that and pull that out. This cable here is adhesive to the back, so pry up very gently on it. Or you can stick a spudger down in there and just kind of work its way up. There we go. Okay, so you have, come on. You have this up, you have these 2 cables. So then what I do is I kind of just get a hold of both these cables like this, and then I just pull up. That releases the tape, and there is your ribbon cable. Okay, so I guess also bonus thing, we need to transfer this over as well. This little guard thing, it's not on our replacement down there at the bottom, so we need to transfer that over. So extra bonus footage. It's just 2 screws. Can't really mess it up. Okay, so this is our replacement back. This is a 6th generation 160 gigabyte rear case. It's the thicker version. I'm going to leave this protective backing on. And I'm just gonna work with it just so that way, I mean, these things, they scratch so easily. So it'll just keep it safe. And then when the customer gets it, they can take it off if they want. They can do whatever they want with it, but at least this ensures that they have a decent looking back when they get it from me. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so we're just opening this up a little bit to give us some room to work. This is in there, kind of good. Okay. Okay. So now we have the piece from before. Okay, we have our replacement rear case, and we have our replacement aux port. Like I said previously, this is not brand new. I'm treating it as if it is brand new because it's the same process. Okay. Okay, so I need a spacer which actually ain't gonna stay. Okay, so next thing I need is a spacer. It just helps. I mean, it's just a cutout piece of foam. So it just helps me with a place to set that on. And then after everything is all screwed in, I just pull it out when I'm done. Let me get this all right. Okay. Tweezers. There we go. Okay, then we'll just set this on top. Okay, good enough. We'll get our little bitty screws. And then we just screw it back into place, if I can get it. Yeah, that looks like it's in. Now I just gotta move that so that fits on that screw hole there. That's not in. There we go. That is in. Not going nowhere. Now we can come back under here and pull that little pad out. Good. Okay, so then we need to insert this back into the right spot. So this just slides in here like so. just like that. And then you screw it back in. Sometimes you gotta hold them down tight. Sometimes it can be kind of tricky to get that screw back in. Okay, and then our last screw is off to the side. Except that's kind of fallen down a little bit, so we gotta just raise it back up like so. Okay, then come back in with our screw. And there it is. Okay. Everything's in. Okay, then next, all you gotta do is just put this ribbon cable back in here. Like so. Put it all back together, put the battery back in. Close it back up and you are good to go. Okay, so then once you have the aux port cable back in, the next thing you need to do is you need to open this port up here, this battery connector. So to do that, take your spudger, hold down on the white part, take handy dandy paperclip tool, run it along the back side, and that will release the clip. Like that, you'll hear a click. Okay, so then the next thing we need to do, take the battery, put it back in, get the end of the battery cable inserted into the battery connector, take the stubby end of your spudger, press down on the black clip, and there's that. Okay. So the battery is dead, it needs to be charged, that's fine. There's actually a little bit more work that I need to do on this one. I need to replace the front cover too. That's the only reason why I'm not closing it up and testing it, but you guys have seen enough of my videos to know what's going on. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Open it up, take the battery off, switch over your aux cable, screw it all back in, put it back together. I would just highly suggest that if you are doing it this way and not taking this wrapper off so you don't risk scratches, when you are closing it back up, just be very mindful of this because it can get closed in between the front case and the rear case. Kind of a pain in the butt to get out, so just make sure everything's clear before you close up. And as always, test before you close up. There's nothing more frustrating than getting everything back together, especially if you have a brand new case, because the more you open these, the more degraded they get each time. So there's nothing more frustrating than getting everything put back together, having a brand new rear case on, and then having to go back in because it wasn't set up right before you closed. So, anywho, that is how you replace the aux port cable in an iPod Classic. This is good for the 5th, 6th, and 7th generation iPods. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a wonderful night.